What up? What up? What up? It's Rec League Podcast, man. This is episode number 42. Um, I apologize right now for missing 2 weeks ago. Man, dude, with the virus, the pandemic, first, like, things to talk about is slim pickings on the real. And, like, I had something to talk about 2 weeks ago, but it was complications with the crew, with my regulars, and I wanted to talk about the Five Bloods to come out, and I wanted to talk to my guys about the Five Bloods and SpikeLee, and complications came about that really just didn't allow a conversation, and I didn't want to sit here and talk to y'all by myself because I like interacting with people and playing off of what they say, and it worked out better to do it today. So with that said, my guy E Sigmund, he comes on. We talk about theaters opening up. We talk about the recent DC movie news, Snyder Cut, Michael Keaton, and we talk about the Five Bloods. We talk about Spike Lee, and then for sports, I want to talk about the NBA coming back. Of course, I got bars, and then to finish off this episode, me and Old Man Lawrence review, gush over, whatever you want to call it, RTJ4, and that's your episode 42. I usually do like the recent releases and all of that. Recently on Blu-ray, I think like just the Impractical Jokers movie came out. Like that I was searching high and low, like waiting for an announcement, and just out of the blue, I found it like looking through Blu-ray.com's release schedule, but there wasn't like a big like ad pitch or anything. This past Tuesday, I got Pennyworth, the Batman's butler Alfred got his own show on the Epix channel, and it got a Blu-ray. This upcoming Tuesday, nothing comes out that I'm gonna buy, so like I really don't know what's coming out. Like nothing big that the casual movie fan is gonna buy is coming out. And then Trolls World Tour, like the movie that kicked off the foregoing the theater due to the coronavirus, going straight to VOD, is coming out on home media the first Tuesday in July. Like that's wild in itself. And that Russell Crowe Road Rage movie may or may not go to whatever theaters are open. Unhinged is what it's called. But yeah, like I don't even want to see that. So like for me, nothing's coming out to the theater. If the theaters even reopen, like it's because of the spikes in positive cases, man. Like it's still unknown whether or not Americans at the very least can pull their head out of their ass, wear a mask for a couple weeks, let the positive cases recover, and then maybe, just maybe, with a couple rules and precautions in place, we can get back to some kind of normalcy. So when I come back, me and my guy E Sigmund, we gonna chop it up about this movie stuff, man. Reg League. All right, take three. Take three. It's been like a month or so. I think we might have got up at the beginning of June. I got my guy E Sig back, and because of moving complications and me not wanting to talk Spike Lee movies by myself, I skipped the last episode, and the Anchor app is tripping. Thank you, Anchor. So now I'm gonna have to keep an eye on this phone at the same time while I'm trying to hold a conversation. But we was talking about last episode. I want to talk about HBO Max and finally announcing the Snyder Cut, and then we was talking about Zack Snyder saying that the viewer, the fan, had only seen like 1/4 of what he had done, and Me personally, like I said on the cut, that's not gonna be on the episode. The two Zack Snyder DCEU movies are two of my favorites, and I'm insanely hyped to see the actual final product, Zack Snyder's vision of what he wanted Justice League to be. I'm gonna throw a swerve that I didn't say in the outtakes, but he released that clip that teased Darkseid with like Wonder Woman uh, discovering like a tablet or something that had like some ancient language, and it was real dope. And
Mm-hmm.
if you can remember everything that you said on what we not gonna use, what you think about the Snyder Cut finally coming out?
No, I love it, and it deserves to be seen. I'm a big proponent of any type of artist's vision should be realized,
For sure.
and not be compromised by the powers to be who have absolutely like no talent. The pen pushers, the suits at the table. Whether it's an album that they didn't like, or in this case, because like you said, two of your Snyders. What are those two movies? Your favorite Snyder movies? I'm gonna try and make a point.
Man of Steel and Batman vs Superman.
Thank you. So Batman v Superman. The weekend it came out, Justice League, the Snyder Cut was already filming.
Yeah.
It was already deep into principal photography, and the numbers weren't what they wanted to be, and some of the critical. That wasn't where they wanted that to be either, and Warner Brothers panicked.
I know all too well.
And you can't just change the tone and the direction of a movie. Well, you can, but it usually doesn't work mid-filming, and that's what they did with Justice League. They panicked,
yeah,
and they tried everything in the book to basically push Snyder out. And unfortunately, he had a tragedy in his family, and they
oh yeah,
and they used that, which
super dirty.
Yeah, so no, it like I said, the theatrical version is a Frankenstein mishmash of a movie. I'm surprised it's not as bad. I'm surprised it's not worse.
Right, like crazily enough, I don't even think I have Justice League as my least favorite DCEU movie.
Mm. Yeah, that's and another thing is besides that, just horrible decisions, greed.
Yeah.
So a lot of people, if y'all don't know, if you're an executive at a movie studio and you set a release date, and the movie makes that release date, you get a bonus. So they wanted to keep the release date.
Yeah.
They could have pushed it and done the visual effects
to the following summer.
Yeah, on the mustache better. Everybody. It was just a collective of just bad luck.
After Mission Impossible came out, of course it was the right call for Paramount to flex and be like, no, he's not going to shave.
Yeah.
But bring back Superman, black suit. The black suit was in Man of Steel, so we know it exists in this world.
Mm-hmm.
Just fully bearded, mustache fully bearded.
Yeah,
so like,
right.
Yeah.
But no, it was just from the theatrical version of Justice League. It's horrible when the very first scene, like, with the little kids. And what the hell was with that? There's never a bookend to that scene.
What's your favorite thing about Earth?
Yeah, what's the bookend?
I mean, obviously with the mustache, like that was obviously a Joss Whedon idea.
Yeah.
I wonder how Zack Snyder's movie starts now.
Yeah, that's a good question.
But Joss Whedon was straight like, oh, Zack Snyder's still getting directing credit. Fuck that shit.
Yeah.
This movie's not going on my filmography.
Yeah, they gave him a writing credit because. Yeah, but no, it's like I saw it in theaters twice actually. I
saw it twice.
Yeah, and it's just it's still not clear if it's gonna be just a long cut of a movie or are they gonna do the miniseries style thing.
Man, if it wasn't for The Irishman, I think the miniseries thing wouldn't even be an idea.
True,
but there's so many people complaining about how long The Irishman was. Like, somebody took the time to break down The Irishman into episodic hours. So, I mean, on HBO Max, it's hard telling.
Yeah, because Netflix did a thing with The Hateful Eight. They did, which was cool. The little mini-sodes or whatever. But I'm just glad that yeah, it's gonna be seen. It deserves to be seen. Zack Snyder is a good filmmaker. I don't,
for sure.
Some of his work might not be as good as others, but 300, everybody loves 300.
Yeah, I think see, I'm in the minority with that too. I don't dislike 300. I think it's super overrated. I think it's super overhyped, but it's still good. It's still like one of the most badass movies out there.
Yeah, I could but it came at a time, even what was it, 06?
Yeah.
You froze, but it came during that I don't know if you want to call it a novelty because it came around Sin City.
Yep. Oh, that Frank Miller.
Yeah, they're both Frank Miller. Has something to do with both of them. That's funny. But well, even I think Snyder has made one of the best remakes. If you want to go there with Dawn of the Dead.
Dawn of the Dead is so I think the more time that passed, it just gets more and more underappreciated.
Yeah,
that's what I'm trying to think. I think my least favorite Zack Snyder movie might be the Owls of Ga'Hoole, but it's cause he took a risk and did kind of like Eli Roth with the house with the clock in the walls.
Yeah,
it's not really in his wheelhouse, but it's not bad.
That's true enough. And I'm gonna touch on one more thing before we move along. So when this was announced, people criticizing it, this and that, they said it's gonna set a bad precedent. Like now, all the fans are gonna clamor. Like, no, this is different. As in,
it's like Paul Feig didn't get pushed out of his vision of Ghostbusters,
right?
And even in the same universe, like David Ayer didn't get pushed out until he got pushed out of the editing room.
Exactly. And they basically went back and re-edited. But I'm glad you brought up David Ayer with Suicide Squad.
I was gonna ask you, at the very end, I was gonna ask you if you think the Ayer cut happens.
If the Justice League thing is successful, they probably told him to just because one thing I think that David Ayer is I wouldn't say doing wrong, but could do better is the way he's campaigning about it. Because he's kind of making those critics over there that's saying having a Snyder Cut release is going to set a bad precedent if everybody wants to get there. Is that the way he's campaigning for it seems sort of not very tactful.
Yeah.
You go behind the scenes and talk to him like, look here, if this does, can I get mine? And but then again, Twitter fans are asking him about it, and I don't think he wants to straight out lie about it.
Yeah.
Because when the movie came out, he was on the board like, yeah, I support this cut, and this is, playing a game.
Yeah. I wonder, because I know he did Bright with Netflix. I wonder if he's, or actually, I think Louis Leterrier is rumored to do Bright too now. Because ever since Suicide Squad and then Bright came out right after that, David Ayer's kind of just been chilling.
Yeah.
But now I wanna stay in the same universe. Cause you got one hat on, I got another hat on. It could all be intertwined, but the ink is not dry. Like I said, like I'm not one of these pages, accounts. I'm not one of these people who tries to break news. Like I'm practically on the Mexican border, man. I don't know nothing about movie news. I spread the word. That's all we do at Rec League Podcast. Michael Keaton is in talks to reprise the role of Bruce Wayne from his Tim Burton Batman movies to be in Andy Muschietti directed The Flash with Ezra Miller as the Flash, hopefully in 2022, which they're from what I understand from the actual reporters who do this for a living and break these stories, Jeffrey Dean Morgan is not in this movie at all. Thomas Wayne will not be in the alternate universe that Barry Allen goes to. It'll be Michael Keaton, who is supposedly going to be set up to be a Nick Fury type character, to be a mentor for other DC heroes in whatever movies come around. And this has nothing to do with nothing, but I'm a fucking geek. And even the ink isn't dry yet. And all the DC movies on my shelf, I put them all together. Because if Michael Keaton is in this movie, who's to say that they're not going to try to make anything else canon?
Yeah. Yeah, so...
What do you think about Keaton coming back?
So now that the cat is out the bag,
Wow.
they gotta do whatever they can to get him, because if this falls through, anything else, any other idea they have, it's not gonna match up. You know what I mean? I mean, even if the movie without the Keaton thing is good, y'all have to bring something. Just Keaton being on the screen, and if they put him in a suit,
I heard it's gonna be like some type of like Kingdom Come-esque batsuit.
Yeah.
Isn't that what they did for Crisis? Like, is that the one where he has like the robotic, like trying to keep his limbs up and all of that?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, the little
apparatus
thing or whatever.
They try to do something similar to that for like with Kevin Conroy for the CW Crisis. It was cool.
But, yeah, it's well, first of all, credit to you for saying I just called dude the director of It Chapter 1 and 2. I'm not trying to say that last name.
Muschietti. I don't even know if I'm saying it right.
But yeah, it's but people were, like you said, they were looking forward to Jeffrey Dean Morgan as Thomas Wayne, which would have been awesome in my opinion.
Yeah, I always wanted him. As soon as he was in Batman vs Superman, I always wanted him as Flashpoint Batman. I always wanted Lauren Cohan as Flashpoint Joker. But
yeah, that would be. But I think they're going for, at least Warner Brothers is.
But like,
they're trying.
When Muschietti was announced, like weeks or a couple months passed, and like he answered a couple Flash related questions, and he always said it's gonna be Flashpoint, but it's gonna be my own take on Flashpoint. Like it was never gonna be like Captain America: Civil War isn't a comic accurate Civil War.
Not at all. Yeah.
Flashpoint isn't gonna be a comic accurate Flashpoint, and I don't care. Just further the movie universe. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Because my question is, we spoke of some Snyder Cut, Justice League. Whenever it comes out in whatever form it's going to be, miniseries or a movie, is it just going to be its own thing, or is it going to be canon?
See, like I think the way like Warner Brothers track record, and we know how they do.
Yeah.
They panicked when BVS didn't get the critical and financial that they wanted. They did wreck Suicide Squad because of that. They wrecked Justice League because of that. I think the Snyder Cut is going to end up being like the most viewed, rated, watched thing on HBO Max, and they're going to go back into the boardroom, panic mode. Well, they love the Snyder Cut, so let's take it back to his original vision. Let's give Zack Snyder Justice League 2, and it's going to irrevocably take the campy, jokey, brighter Shazam, Aquaman, Birds of Prey, and then they're gonna look like eyesores in this whole universe because they're gonna try to retcon it all back to Zack Snyder's like dark original vision.
Yeah, but you know what sucks about that? That's the problem with Warner Brothers, the panicking. You can have both.
Yeah.
You know, Ant-Man and the Wasp came out the same year Infinity War came out.
Two completely different tones.
Right. You can have more than one tone. That's what these knuckleheads don't get.
Yeah, that's why I've always been somebody who said that when Warner Brothers wants to do their DC extended cinematic universe, literally copy. Like Disney doesn't own the mapping out of a cinematic universe. Right. They should have just done the exact same thing, deal with the criticism. Well, you just copied Marvel and you established your characters, you did a mashup, and then you took some risks. Mm-hmm. If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yeah. But you know what? But we keep going back to this Warner Brothers panicking thing. If you ask me, the Zack Snyder outline, the mapped out plan he had, I think would have worked.
It would have,
because it's supposed to be Justice League being a two-part or a trilogy, if I'm not mistaken.
It was a trilogy, and it sounded epic.
Yeah, and all the stuff he set up in DVS was just, they had him discarded and no payoff, and
yeah.
Because I want to see a movie or something else with the Nightmare Batman.
Yeah.
That's one of the best scenes of that in that movie, BVS, if you ask me.
So I think I read a couple days ago that Muschietti wants to keep Kiersey Clemons as Iris. So I think her scenes are gonna be like put into the Snyder Cut, and then that's gonna be established in the Flash. And I want to know who they're gonna cast or announced as Reverse Flash already.
Yeah, but you know what? Speaking, one thing we didn't touch on, and I haven't actually heard about, what's the deal with the Flash? And
Ezra whooping that lady's ass. Probably nothing. I'm sure he's still Flash.
Yeah, it came and went.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, what the heck ever happened with that?
Not a damn thing.
Right. So.
Yeah, but and supposedly Keaton might end up eventually trying to like set up a Batman Beyond movie.
Yeah, that's coming out. That news.
That's why I pointed out the hats.
But yeah, it's
and then I almost forgot to talk about it.
But yeah, Michael Keaton. I hope that ink does. I hope it does get signed and go, because that'd be an awesome idea.
I hope, but then like Sony, and we know Sony, they're gonna try to be assholes, and they're gonna like try to schedule him to be in some kind of spider-related movie at the same time he's got to do his Flash stuff and ruin it all.
Yeah, Spider-Man. I mean, not Spider-Man. Sony's still on their everlasting search for a successful franchise.
Yeah. And we know he's in Morbius because they ruined him in the trailer.
Yeah, they're drawing.
And then
that Michael Keaton. I hope it happens. That'll be.
Yeah, if it doesn't happen, I may have rearranged all my DC movies for nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Stupid. So, again, what I was gonna talk about last episode was the horrible segue. I don't have no effects or nothing. We just keeping the ball rolling. Supposedly, movie theaters within the next month or so are gonna try to get back open. Like I was telling you before we hit record for the first time, my theater, the only theater in town, was gonna open the 17th of July. And now, with all the spikes in positive cases with the coronavirus and the pandemic again, it doesn't look like it's going to hit the July 17th date. It's not on the app anymore. But then again, like all these movies got pushed back again. Mulan got pushed back a month. Tenet got pushed back practically a month overall. And then Bill and Ted got pushed back to, like, it got moved up, then it got pushed back. And so like I think they're like shooting for August for like the big return. You think it's gonna happen? Like, I don't even want this to go along to discussion. You think it's gonna happen or not?
Nah, unfortunately, no. And to our awesome audience out there, Randy and I are both in Texas, and unfortunately, like you said, the cases are spiking. We're the brunt of a lot of jokes when it comes to.
We're not Florida.
Yeah, right. It's Florida, Georgia, specifically Atlanta, and then Texas when it's coming to how people are not caring about trying to make this thing go away.
Yeah.
And
I feel like we were close. And then like Memorial Day happened and we suck again.
But
that's why this ain't got nothing to do with no movie stuff. But whoever listen, whoever watch, chill on 4th of July. Stay home.
Yeah.
Spray yourself down with Lysol. If cases spike after 4th of July, ain't nothing I'm gonna do about it. I'm just gonna be mad.
Yeah, and also it's like I said, we're in Texas, and a lot of things in Texas get turned into political issues that are not. It's a health issue, man.
Yeah.
Just put on a mask.
Yeah, put on a mask so your nasty ass germs don't get spread to somebody else, and their nasty ass germs don't get spread to you. Just put a mask on.
And also, you can have it and be asymptomatic, and you can still pass it.
Yep. So
it's just so much misinformation coming out, but we got way off of movies for a second, but
well, Contagion was a good movie. Yeah. And this is real life Contagion. We're still talking about movies.
Yeah, basically. It's like, as corny as it sounds, that's saying, we're all in this together, but trying to get through it. It's not about.
It's literally a world issue, though. Like, corny or not, it's the reality.
Yeah, but yeah, we all miss, boy, though I miss movie theaters. Oh man, it's stuff you wouldn't think that you would have to appreciate. Like, I'm going to movie theater. It's just, man, when's the last time? Probably March. The last time you've been to a movie theater.
I sat through The Hunt and Bloodshot in back-to-back days. And I still hurt.
But yeah, it's but yeah, whenever this thing does go away, and I'm very confident that it will, or at the very least, we'll find a better way to deal with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, the whole industry is gonna be changed forever.
Without question.
Because we got all these movies coming straight to on demand or even just streaming services.
Have you rented any?
No, I'm actually scheduling myself to look at My Spy, because that's on Prime.
Yeah, like I've already made my Prime payment. I'll probably try to watch that over. I got 4th of July weekend. I got a 4-day weekend. I'll try to squeeze that in.
So,
even though I'm not the target demographic.
I was about to say The Last King of Scotland. I don't know why that came to my mind, but
hey, Forrest Whitaker has a cameo in King of Staten Island.
There we go, the King of Staten Island, The Last King of Scotland. But yeah. But and of course, I guess that'd be a good segue. Speaking of new movies, to go and get Netflix original.
I definitely thought of that. That was perfect. Yeah, just for the rest of the time we're on, I want to talk about Spike. He released The Five Bloods on Netflix. If I'm not mistaken, I think I heard or read somewhere that like every studio like just basically told him no, and then Netflix was like, yeah.
And not just they gave Spike. Spike been in the game since '85.
I'm about to say damn near as long as I've been alive.
Yeah, and this is, if not the biggest budget he's ever had for a movie. Probably Inside Man is his biggest budget.
Because I was thinking, because it's Rec League. We're not professionals. So if I spoil some shit, fast forward like 10 minutes. And that's the heads up that I'm about to spoil some shit. Because I love what he did with the flashbacks when they go back to the Chadwick Boseman scenes during the war, but how all the like lead characters are still old.
Yeah.
I always thought like, hey, maybe he just didn't get the budget to de-age, but then maybe the Spike was just like, nah, like de-aging has become like a gimmick, so I'm about to do it like this.
Yeah. I know he said somewhere it was a conscious choice not to do that.
I loved it. Was Isaiah Whitlock, Delroy Lindo, Norm Lewis, and Clark Peters. Like they're all in the flashbacks, but they're all like the age they were like during filming and all that. Right. And I thought that was really dope.
Yeah, and he obviously was going for the performance, like, cause
bro, if Delroy don't get nominated,
actually start off with that Delroy Lindo. That dude is
one of the greatest performances of the year.
Yeah, and a couple of weeks, if not a week before The Five Bloods came out, Congo had his 25th anniversary, and I posted a scene, his only scene in the movie, where he like have some cake, and
and even that one scene,
he chews up the scenery in a good way.
Yeah.
But now Delroy Lindo is super underrated, and this movie, it's no reason he should have a lock for the nomination at least. Best supporting.
And how they extended like the Oscar qualifications to like February. Like it's gonna matter. Like the Oscars probably aren't even gonna happen next year, and that's gonna be the robbery. That's gonna be the robbery why Delroy don't get on statue.
Yeah, that sucks.
Because they're gonna be like, well, not enough movies came out, so we're just gonna cancel the ceremony.
No, that's I mean, hell, the daytime Emmys announced that they're going virtual. So.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, I don't see.
Man, you and Nick are the awards guys. I don't pay too close attention to it.
Yeah, but the Academy is no reason, even if it's, heck, you can have a social distancing lab event, or it's no reason, not to have it. So, but The Five Bloods,
Five Bloods was dope. It's in my top 10 favorite Spike movies.
Yeah, we've been quarantined a little bit before that, and a lot of Spike Lee movies are popping up on streaming. And
hey man, I don't need none of that. I was ahead of the game. I was binging all the Spike movies that I own.
That's true. Yeah,
I binge watched for like 2-3 weeks all the Spike Lee movies that I own in like April, and I might have started in March, but it was mainly in April because I knew the Five Bloods was coming, but the release date wasn't announced. So I wanted to just get ahead of all of that. There was some stuff I wanted to be fresh on. Like I love Black Klansman from a couple years ago. I love He Got Game, Inside Man, Do the Right Thing. And then, okay, the only one that I don't own that I did watch was She's Gotta Have It. Because like a day before I started, I was like, well, shit, this is on Netflix. I want to see it.
Yeah. Yeah, he's been real busy of late with Black Klansman, and he did 2 seasons of a TV show.
Yeah.
A rarity for a TV series. He directed every episode.
Did he really?
If I'm not mistaken. If not 90%, he directed every single episode.
That's dope.
And of course the Five Bloods, and but yeah, he's had 2 of his best works have come out in the last.
That's crazy,
years.
Ain't it?
Yeah, with Black, and that's saying a lot.
Yeah.
With Spike Lee, who has some classic, very relevant movies, especially what's going on now.
I swear, like that's the thing about Spike. Like if you want to cut back and just go blank, stare off into space and watch shit. Like Spike Lee is not the director to put on. Every single movie, he got some kind of message.
Yeah.
He's trying to educate everybody.
We talk about underrated movies.
Oh yeah, Spike, his lighthearted movies might be Crooklyn. I'm trying to save face and see where, because the anchor is tripping and they cut us off again. Yeah, like Crooklyn maybe.
Yeah, that's all I can really think of, like right off the top of my head. But no, back to the Five Bloods, definitely one of his best. If y'all haven't seen it, check it out. If you've seen it, watch it again and look for the nuances and appreciate the performances even more, especially from Delroy, who
for sure.
Yep. And yeah, I think we mentioned earlier, but Netflix threw a really big budget at Spike. If you all notice, there's a lot of about to get into my geeky filmmaking talk. The flashbacks are filmed in 16 millimeter, and they go to a different aspect ratio.
Yeah, that based on what's going on in which scene, like the aspect ratio always changes. Like aside from the flashbacks, like that was one of the like coolest things about this movie to me.
Yeah, and then Spike, I think it's probably 3 aspect ratio. It's the you have the classic widescreen, then you have a matic widescreen when they actually search for the gold, and then the flashbacks.
Yeah.
But I think they threw him $40 million, and the average Spike movie is like 10 to 20.
Oh shit.
Yeah, and that's for his studio movies.
Yeah. And like there was it was good. Like I don't want to spoil nothing. It's been out like 2 weeks, but there's one part, Norm Lewis, and it's like it wasn't subtle at all because he started doing something. And I was like, okay, like something's about to go down because of where they're located. And it still went down, and I was still shocked by it.
Yeah. Yeah, no, just the scene you're talking about.
It's crazy that you knew exactly what I was talking about.
Yeah, but definitely, Spike Lee does it again. And it's surprising. We spoke about the studios, turned them down left and right, and this is a dude. Like you said, his career is the same age as you.
Yeah. Yeah,
and
like
he
still got to have it come out in 86.
Greenlit, for certain types of movies.
That's
so
crazy.
People talking about like the streaming services and the companies, I'm glad for them.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of crap on Netflix. Let's be honest, but there's a lot of greatness on that too.
Yeah, for sure.
And Prime is jumping in, Apple TV's jumping in, and I forget the movie. I recently watched it. I didn't tell you, with Samuel Jackson and Anthony Mackie.
Oh,
The Banker.
Okay, I heard that wasn't very good.
Yeah, it is. It's decent. I watched it the other night. But yeah, these streaming services are basically movie studios in themselves. You know, they're financing and releasing movies.
Shit, Apple sell 2 million phones in a year and go make a movie.
Right. And we go back to The Irishman. You know, I don't think The Irishman is getting made being a major theatrical.
Nah, because, I mean, how many times can you show that in the theater a day? Twice?
Yeah, twice. 3 at the most.
I don't even know if it could have made $1 million in the States opening weekend. How much did it make? Because I know it had that limited run at the beginning of November last year. I forget.
Yeah. But it's my little with the streaming service that they're giving a lot of filmmakers, veteran and new, these opportunities to make these films.
Yeah, man. Because I mean, like, I don't know, sometimes I think Netflix be lying, but it's like every time something that's hot, like every time an Adam Sandler movie comes out, and then every time something that's like real hype comes out, well, Netflix just set a new streaming record based off of this, and this.
Yeah, so I wouldn't doubt it, but
because like they don't really release them. It's not like you see Netflix ratings and views on box office results.
You see what they just started doing, the top 10.
Yeah, like
top 10 of the day
trending.
Yeah, but yeah, they just recently started.
You hear them sirens, man?
Yeah. But I believe you can't access the hard numbers now. But at first you couldn't have because going back to we were talking about comic book movies, people were curious about the numbers when the Marvel shows started to get canceled.
Yeah.
And people assumed it was because they were doing bad, and that wasn't the issue. We now know the issue is
Disney Plus.
Yeah. So yeah, these movies they're viewed a lot and they're hits because of it.
Yeah, for sure.
And because of the quarantine/pandemic, you know.
Numbers gotta be but that's all there is to do is stream now.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see. Coming back around to Spike, I think even like my least favorite SpikeLee movies, like I still don't dislike them. Like She Hate Me, I just feel like he was trying to do too much. He had he had his main subplot with Anthony Mackie getting it in, making money, but then he had like all that business stuff too. And then like we know like Old Boy isn't even his final product.
Yeah.
And then
they even Brolin came out and said like
that's not the movie we made.
Yeah. But I'm sorry, I said first movie, but She Hate Me. I'm thinking She's Gotta Have It. But yeah, She Hate Me was he threw a lot into the pot. I hear you on that one.
Nah, like She's Gotta Have It was good. And then like my favorite Spike movies, I think my top 5 is Inside Man, Black Klansman, 25th Hour, He Got Game, and Do the Right Thing.
And 25th Hour, you talk about an underrated.
His movie. Most underrated. It's gotta be.
Yeah, and it's just. And Edward Norton has a few Academy Award nominations, but this is one he got snubbed on.
Yeah.
The monologue scene alone.
Yeah.
And
he offended everybody. If you got a breath in your body, Edward Norton offended your ass.
Yeah, and the genius of the scene is how he went from just abroad and he started getting more personal toward the end. If y'all haven't seen that, watch it. That's
for sure.
A great freaking movie. But that's
because when I do my binges like that, I go chronologically. Even if it's a sequel, I'll probably just keep it chronological.
Mm-hmm.
And I hit 25th Hour that come out. Technically, it come out in 2002, but I'm one of them that like it got its wide expansion like January 03.
Yeah,
so like
true.
I say that's a 2003 movie, and I was just like, man, like what's gonna top this? And like I like it. Like He Got Game, I love He Got Game. That's one of my all-time favorite basketball movies, Denzel movies, period. And then Inside Man came out. Like Inside Man is just another underrated heist movie. But then you got them performances from Clive Owen, Denzel. Like it's just so good. And I always think it's weird, but it's also like really cool that like Chiwetel Ejiofor and Denzel was in movies back-to-back years like that.
That's
with
true,
American Gangster. And then
another thing about we talked about his mainstream, his actual movies.
Yeah.
We not even getting into his documentaries.
Yeah, like I know he got a Kobe documentary. He did he do one for Michael Jackson?
I don't think so. He did one for the Kobe. He did Kobe when he did Four Little Girls. He did When the Levees Broke.
Okay.
And it's a couple of other ones he did that you have to check into. But no, I don't think he did the Michael Jackson one. Yeah, but it's quite a few. But yeah, I forgot about that. You mentioned American Gangster and Inside Man. That's another freaking name. I ain't gonna mess with. I love him as an actor. Wichita.
Yeah, for sure. I'm glad that he come out a few days ago and said he's gonna be in Doctor Strange too.
Yeah.
I know I don't know. You got your top 5 Spike movies off top?
Nah, off top.
I know you got Malcolm X in there.
What's that?
So I know you got Malcolm X in there somewhere.
Oh yeah, Malcolm X actually would be. That's one of the most snubbed movies of all time, in my
hits
opinion.
The table. If it wouldn't mess up the laptop and my framing, I slammed the table right quick.
But I have to go top 5. Malcolm X, number 1. Do the Right Thing, number 2. 25th Hour, number 3.
Hey, we got a match.
Let's see what else. I know I'm gonna miss a couple, but last 2 would probably have to be He Got Game, and believe it or not, Summer Sam.
Okay, yeah, I got that in my 10. I ain't got that in my 5.
Yeah, I think that movie. Well, he got just the fact he got a lot of underrated movies. That's just gonna be the thing. This is a theme throughout his whole career.
Yep. Man, if it wouldn't mess up my screen recording, I click and I get some of his other stuff because I want to hit on a few movies like that I didn't get a chance to watch, like Girl 6, and then like what he did in between Miracle of St. Anna and Old Boy. I didn't get a chance to watch those.
Sweet Blood of Jesus.
Yeah, and like Red Hook Summer. Chirac, yeah. Those are the 3 that I didn't get a chance to see.
Mm-hmm.
And then who's in Girl 6? Is it Teresa Randall?
Teresa Randall,
okay.
Yeah. And Isaiah Washington.
That's right.
Yeah.
He had a run. Like Isaiah Washington was in Crooklyn, Clockers, and like all back-to-back years.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, Spike is loyal to his favorites, and
for sure.
Yeah, in a couple of his movies, even his TV show, he cast. It's one actress in particular. You probably don't know by name, but Kim Director.
I think I know the name because she was in a few of these movies.
Mm-hmm. She was an Inside Man. She was in a TV show. She's Gotta Have It, and a couple of his other movies.
Around the same time as Inside Man.
Yeah. But yeah, that's definitely probably dedicate a whole episode to Spike Lee.
Yeah. That's what I was saying. That's what I said in the group chat, that I hope him and Denzel link up at least one more time.
Yeah, they've done what 5 times? No, 4.
4, yeah.
It seems like more.
Inside Man, I swear. That's why I asked at the time, because it feels like way more than 4 movies. Malcolm X, Inside Man, He Got Game, Mo Better Blues.
Yeah, that's it, ain't it?
Yup.
Yeah. But yeah, who was it? This is silly, not even a segue, but it's related, but it's not. I think it was 50 Cent got into it with Spike Lee over something.
It's 50.
If it's not 50 Cent, it was another rapper. They were trying to come at Spike Lee, was saying his career is only successful because of Denzel.
Yeah, I don't know about all that.
I gotta look into that. I think it was 50 Cent. I mean, 50 Cent petty enough.
I'm about to say I could see 50 Cent something like that.
Yeah, but no, it's that is something that popped in my head.
Well, shit, like 4 movies, 17, like 4 movies out of the 17 I watched. It don't sound like it's gonna hold any weight.
Right, that's true enough.
And that's a trip too. He's in 4 movies with Denzel. His son was the lead in Black Klansman. Denzel's son was the lead in Black Klansman.
Yeah, that's 2 generations of.
That's crazy.
Yeah. But man, yeah, I guess speaking of Denzel's son, blanking on his name,
John David Washington.
John David Washington. Yeah, was really excited for Tenet, but
yeah, it'll come out eventually. it'll come out eventually. So that's another thing, like behind the scenes, Rec League behind the scenes in the group chat. I'm not tripping off of these delays. I'd rather go to the theater when I know I'm not gonna get sick and enjoy the movie than just be like not touching the armrests and trying to keep my feet off the floor with a mask on in the ET suit.
Yeah.
So, I mean, even if Tenet comes out on Christmas or next summer, like it'll come out eventually.
Yeah, because Nolan definitely films his movies, and I'm using that word for a reason. Film his movies to be seen on the big screen.
For sure. Yeah. Christopher Nolan has to be like the driving force behind trying to keep movies in the theater.
Mm-hmm.
Because Tenet was the last movie to move. Tenet was like, when everything started moving, Tenet was there. Tenet was there up until like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And it moved when Warner Brothers probably like at the last second determined that it had to. And it only moved maybe 3 weeks total.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe a month. I don't know.
Yeah, that's true enough. And also, when I say film, he shoots, I think ever since The Dark Knight, The Dark Knight, he shoots most of his movies. Well, he shoots all of his movies with IMAX cameras.
Yeah. Like Christopher Nolan's movies have become events.
Mm-hmm.
Because of the effort that he puts in and the detail and the technical aspects.
Yeah. And I saw Dunkirk in IMAX, and boy, was that talk about an experience.
That's one. Like I got it lined up whenever Tenet actually does come out. I got it lined up to rewatch all his movies except his Batman movies because I recently watched those maybe like 9 months or so ago. But like Dunkirk is one of the ones I'm looking forward to rewatching the most.
Mm-hmm.
But man, at the fear, I don't want to like abruptly cut this off, but at the fear of like losing any more of what we talking about, I think it was a dope conversation on Spike. As you said many times, one of the most underrated directors out there. But like honestly, with one of like the best collections of work. And somewhere along the lines within the next 2 weeks, depending on news, if Michael Keaton bails, we'll have something to talk about in 2 weeks, man. It's Rec League Podcast. When I come back, we're going to be talking about the NBA. All right, I'm going to hit y'all with a little bit of sports right quick. I was going to have my dog Orlando on here, but, complications arose. And, as I said in the movie segment, as I usually say, Rec League Podcast don't break news. We're not in the reporting business. I pass news along. But if Rec League had breaking news ever, it's now. Cam Newton just signed a 1-year deal with the New England Patriots. I'm real hyped that Cam Newton got signed because Colts fans specifically know Brian Hoyer is trash. And Stidham, I don't even know his first name. Like they might be confident in him, but I never thought that this dude was gonna be their week 1 starter. And that's even saying we get a season. So I feel like if Cam can show that he's healthy, Cam Newton is a starter for the New England Patriots. And maybe he's playing for a long-term deal with them, with any other team in the league. But I hate the Patriots. I loathe the Patriots. I hope that Cam balls out. I hope he has a great season. Say what you will about Bill Belichick, but he's going to get peak or great Cam Newton. Cam Newton might be in the MVP discussion. And then before I get on to what the main topic of this segment is going to be, Gotta show love to Vince Carter. Vince Carter retired after 22 seasons. Technically played throughout 4 decades. And I love Vince. Vince is the GOAT dunker. He has the best dunk contest ever. He's probably like the best player of all time that never like truly like did my Pacers dirty. Cause like Jordan stopped them from getting championships. Kobe stopped them from getting championships. Allen Iverson would eat the Pacers every so often. D Wade, LeBron, like great players have rocked my Pacers. Vince Carter, like he has like one of his greatest dunks ever against the Pacers, but like the Raptors really ain't start doing the Pacers in until like 5 seasons ago or so. So like Vince Carter's dope. Like Vince Carter, give Vince Carter his flowers. And that leads me to the NBA, because it was announced that at the end of July, the NBA is going to try to come back. Like all the teams are going to play in Orlando, and they have teams assigned to certain areas at this location in Orlando. And in the Eastern Conference, the 8 playoff teams that were in the playoffs when everything hit the fan, Milwaukee, Toronto, Boston, Miami, Indiana, Philly, Brooklyn, Orlando, they're going. Wouldn't it be some shit if this was in Orlando and then the Magic weren't going to make it? And then Washington. Washington is 5.5 games out of the 8th seed, but they're the only team in the East that wasn't eliminated when everything shut down. From what I understand, I think, because basically if you make the playoffs, if the 9th seed can't catch you. So I don't know. I don't want to get into the ins and outs of how you clinch a playoff spot, but those are just the teams in the East that are going to Orlando. And then way more teams in the West are going. Like you got your 8 teams that were in the playoffs before everything broke. Lakers, Clippers, Nuggets, Jazz, Thunder, Rockets, Mavericks, Grizzlies. And then 5 teams that, like, the lowest seeded team on here is the Phoenix Suns. And they're 6 games out of the 8th seed. 6 games out of 8 with only 8 to play. So the teams that are going from the West that aren't in the playoffs are the Blazers, the Pelicans, the Kings, the Spurs, and the Suns. And the rumor is that the NBA offices and suits and all of that want a Lakers Pelicans first round, a LeBron Zion first round, and Anthony Davis versus his old team first round. And I'm sorry, if the Pelicans make the playoffs now, I'm screaming setup. I'm screaming rigged. But like I hope for the best. I hope that the NBA has everything set up to where this is a success, and by October we have an NBA champion. But the way that this virus has reacted, the way that everything's played out over the past couple weeks, few months, is that I think the NBA is going to have so many positive cases in Orlando that they're going to shut it down and bail on this whole thing and not even make the NBA playoffs. I mean, and not even make it to the NBA finals. So I want to know what you guys think about the NBA's plan to finish the season. Do you think Washington gets into the playoffs in the East? Do you think any of those teams in the West make the playoffs? Do you think Memphis holds on? Me personally, I want to see Ja Morant in the playoffs instead of Zion. Like, Ja Morant is Rookie of the Year. Like, I don't want to hear Zion Williamson has 8 games to win Rookie of the Year. He missed, that first big chunk of the season while Ja was balling. Ja Morant is Rookie of the Year. When I come back, man, I'm going to have some bars for y'all, and then me and Old Man Lawrence are going to talk about that RTJ4. Yo, Yo, the return, here I am, up in this bitch again. Indiana, what I represent, my residence, south of Michigan. I'm spitting it, they digging it, just me and the homies kicking it. Eating so many rappers, I could be a connoisseur. Then when I spit some bars, you could say I drop manure. These rappers average Joes, but I'm betting on myself like I'm Peter LaFleur. I thread the needle, little Tweedle, you as dumb as Tweedledee. Just stay apart, it ain't this hard, how fucking dumb can people be? You get ripped apart, this is art on this easel, easily. Not one to flaunt titles, but the kid break hearts, no Shawn Michaels. Sick of saying the words, ready boss. In love with the green, no Betty Ross. April O'Neil, against this Renaissance artist you already lost. Get snapped on, no paparazzi. You being the biggest hater is what you could not see. Oh man, we about to put a cap on this episode of Rec League Podcast. Got my guy Old Man Lawrence, and we about to talk about, I know mine, I'm pretty sure your most anticipated album all year is RTJ 4, Run the Jewels 4, whatever you want to call it. LP has come out and said whatever your flavor, that's the title of the album. I wanted, man, we was gonna have Merritt on here, RTJ new guy, and I just wanted him to talk about it, see if he listens to the old ones, but this the hand we've been dealt, man. So just start off, man. What you think about it?
It's everything that I thought an RTJ album would be, if I'm being honest. The production is there. My man LP came through and killed it.
Yes.
Per usual. I think it's on par with the previous three. The lyrics are on point, just like you think they would be. Killer Mike always, let's be real, he kills that shit. And then you got LP, who's always been like that kind of under the radar MC, who will come through and like drop a verse, and it'll just like take you 3 or 4 spins until you like really digest it, and you're like, yo, he fucking murdered this shit. And there's a few examples of that on this album. But it's I heard somebody describe it as it's an album that you could riot to, and it's kind of ironic that we got the protests going on all across the country right now, and they said like the soundtrack to riot to, and it kind of is, man. I don't know if they meant it to be like that, because I don't think they quite did, because all that shit kind of went down, post production or whatever. But it's very fitting for the times. And RTJ, as they always have done, have kind of been on the forefront of, politics and, hip hop and how they kind of like mix. Not to get too far ahead of ourselves, but yeah, it's a dope ass album, man. And for sure, my most anticipated album of the year, without a doubt. Without a doubt.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Like, I don't quite put it as high as the first 3. There's just something about it. It's just, I don't know, maybe I gotta live with it a little longer, and then it'll just be like a 4 album, just perfect 4 albums. But so like right now, this is like just minuscule under, and like, but Yankee and the Brave was that dope teaser track. Ooh La La is that dope single. I know we kind of down out of sight because 2 Chainz verse is a little, but that's probably my favorite beat on the whole thing. There's just something about that beat. It's so funky.
Okay, I'm not mad at that.
Holy Kalamafuck is dope as hell. Goonies versus E.T. is dope as hell. Like, the first track I called out in the group chat was Walking in the Snow, just because, like you said, the George Floyd, the protests and all of that. And LP was like, nah, we recorded that shit like last fall. Like when I was up in Indy kicking it with you, Killer Mike was in the booth like recording some shit that has been echoing through the world this past month.
Yeah, that just kind of puts a lot of things in perspective, man. They recorded that shit back in November.
Yeah.
And how much it, resonates today. Yeah, the world is fucked up, man. We got a lot of issues going on right now. I don't know. Like, it's hard for me to even, like, do this podcast, man. I remember the last time I did the podcast, I was kind of like, I don't know how to word this. It was kind of like hard to get to a podcast or whatever. It was the when Kobe.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, man. Just like with the pandemic going on, the protests going on, it's just like, I don't know, man.
2020 has been trash.
The economy's messed up, man. 2020 is like it's finally wearing on me, and I'm like every day, like waking up, and it seems like there's something new every day.
Every fucking day, man. 2020's been a dumpster fire.
And something every day just like bring us down. And I don't know, this album was kind of like a breath of fresh air, I guess, but also at the same time, like it very much feels like a soundtrack for the times.
Yeah.
This is pretty much where we're at, and I feel like they captured the spirit of where we are, like perfectly. I don't know. Here we are, and like you said, I think that I think the weakest track on there is the one with 2 Chainz. It's a good song. I like it.
Yeah, like Killer Mike and LP killed that shit, but
yeah,
2 Chainz talking about I buy a hot dog stand if I'm trying to be frank, and then he had a line right before that was almost as equally. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean it's a funny line or whatever, you know what I mean? But it just like if that was like Eminem spitting that shit, like he'd have got clowned on.
I feel like the past like year and a half though, like I've been singing 2 Chainz praises. Like I was down on 2 Chainz, and then he came feature after feature after feature where I kind of had to show 2 Chainz respect.
Yeah, oh yeah, he definitely. In my opinion, he shines brightest when he's on somebody else's track.
Yeah,
he's been like that. It's been that way for a few years now.
I'm trying to remember that line.
It was a solid track or whatever, but it's definitely, in my opinion, it's probably the weakest track on there, and it's probably the most popular track on the album too.
It probably is, yeah. Or this one right here, like some dummy on Wikipedia call it Just, but I'm pretty sure the title is Just Money. And then and that's the one, like that's where I feel like RTJ's like maybe flirting a little, like commercially a little bit. Maybe because of Pharrell, maybe because of the beat, like maybe it was molded with Pharrell in mind. I don't know. This is probably one of my least favorites on here, but it's still stupid dope.
But Just,
yeah,
it's so hard, man.
And then Zach De La Rocha came back from RTJ too.
Man, I love bumping this shit and pulling up at a stoplight with the windows down, just like blasting this shit. You just hear like slave masters posing on your dogs. They even in the car looking at you. They actually looking over at you.
Oh my word!
What was this dude listening to? Like, what the fuck is it? Slave masters bumping out of this dude's speakers? What the hell is this dude even jamming? I can't even begin to tell you the crazy looks I got right around to it. But that song fucking slaps, man. That shit is hard. Killer Mike killed it. LP came through. Like I said, De La Roach. I mean, he does this thing. My only slight complaint about this song is like the way it just kind of cuts off. Like I really wish they'd let the chorus ride one more time, because I feel like that chorus is powerful as hell.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like they should have ended it some way with it, riding out to the chorus, because that shit was heavy.
Is that the one where Killer Mike spits last and then like right in between tracks it kind of sounds like he's like what? Or is that another song?
Ain't nothing to fuck with. No. I don't.
Yeah.
Is that it?
That's
the same track?
Yep. On the Tombstone's Red, they ain't nothing to fuck with. Say that shit again, Mike. Nothing to fuck with. What?
Yeah, so the first couple spins of the album, like that was probably my favorite track going away. And then Walking in the Snow kind of took over that spot. I was like, yo, this track is so hard. It's like this is the dope shit on here. And then now, honestly, if we're talking about it, like favorite track on the album, it's probably got to be
Never Look Back.
Never Look Back. That's
a fucking jam.
That is my shit, man.
Never Look Back is a fucking jam.
Yeah, and honestly, as far as production goes, I don't know how I would rate this album, because I feel like LP certainly did his thing. I feel like it's the most different from the other RTJ albums, but I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. You know what I mean?
It's not.
I feel like LP was kind of like stretching out, stretching his legs a little bit more on this than he did in previous projects. Like I think in previous projects, like after RTJ1, they kind of went with just what worked.
Yeah.
And I personally feel like on this one they were kind of like, let's push boundaries a little bit more, like see what all we can get away with, because that's the Pharrell track. They even got DJ Premier on there scratching for the late single. So yeah, I feel like they were definitely trying to branch out a little bit more. But as far as lyrical content and like the subject matter, it's business as usual.
Soundtrack for the times, man, just like it always is.
So, in my opinion, like I don't think there's a skippable track on here. I'm not gonna lie. Usually when 2 Chainz first comes up, depending on like what kind of mood I'm in, I usually skip it because he's got the last verse anyway. So at that point, I'm usually on the next one. That's not even like a diss. Not even like a diss 2 Chainz. I just feel like I just don't feel like that verse fit the album. Like honestly, this shit does not fit.
Yeah, if they was gonna go for like an Atlanta rapper, like I would love to hear like Ludacris on his album.
Yeah, or even T.I., David Banner or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm thinking like an Atlanta rapper that Killer Mike is cool with. You know what I'm saying? Like Big Boy was on the first album, and then T.I. was on rap music. So yeah, T.I. would have been dope, and they got connections all the way back to that Bone Crusher.
Yeah, and they're good friends,
Yeah, I think the barbershop that's in the Hawks Arena, I think, is co-owned by T.I. and Killer Mike.
Yeah, so it's a dope album, man. It lived up to the hype, and I don't know. There's a lot of quotables in this.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna think. That's what I was gonna hit on the last track. A few words for the Firing Squad, or it might have been the hidden track where LP's rapping about his sister or whatever. Like those first couple bars in that verse, I was thinking that might be like the realest lines that LP ever put on an RTJ album.
Yeah.
They was getting real. They was getting deep. Killer Mike was rapping about his mom.
Yeah, I think that's not the same track. Whereas Killer Mike is talking about his friends kept telling him he could have been the next Martin or Malcolm. I think that's the difference. Same track.
Yeah, he's like, my wife said that she didn't want another martyr.
Yeah, she needed another husband. That shit right there is
that shit is deep.
Killer Mike is well respected, not only as a rapper and an MC, but also as he's pretty much an activist, like for being real about it.
I'm about to say an activist, yeah. He's always in the community trying to improve the situation.
Yeah, so to hear them bars come out, like those are conversations that have actually taken place. It's kind of crazy to think about. It kind of blows your mind.
For sure.
But yeah, so that track was deep as fuck, and it's just solid gold in my opinion, man. I don't know. Nobody
has an album 1 to album 4 collection like this.
No, I don't. I agree with you. I agree with you. And
with all due respect, NWA, Wu-Tang, Mobb Deep, UGK, 8-Ball MJG, Clips, RTJ is my favorite hip hop group, bar none.
Well, I don't think you really call them a group. I think to be fair, you kind of got to compare them to other duos. And as far as duos go, there's only a handful. And it's blasphemous, in my opinion, to say that they're better than Outkast. But
I don't know if I can put them.
Gotta be real, man. They have 4 albums that are 4 and above, depending on your opinion. They're 4 and above, with arguably 2 perfect albums mixed in.
You want to throw RTJ against Southern Playlistic, RTJ 2 against Equimini, ATLians, whichever one second, and then flip it for RTJ 3, and then Stank on your RTJ 4.
Well, Equimini is one of my favorite hip hop albums of all time.
That's a tough battle.
I put that shit up against damn near any hip hop album that's out there. Equimini is my shit.
Yeah.
But yeah, Outkast has a few albums where I don't want to say they missed or whatever, but they're not quite on par with their other albums. But RTJ, man, all of their shit is gold, man.
Yeah.
It's so dope. They're so good. To where I past year, so I kind of got like in the vinyl records and shit. I can't find the RTJ3 album for less than $100, man. I can't. Excuse me. I can't find it.
You got 1, 2, and 4.
I got 1, 2, and then I got
4 comes out in a couple weeks.
Yeah, I pre-ordered 4, but it's not going to ship until like September.
Yeah.
What the fuck are we doing, man? Damn, the album came out.
CD, I got the CD. It don't come out till September.
Album comes out in June digitally, but they're not shipping no merch until September. Like, damn, like I know.
That shit would drive me crazy. I would damn near drop that 100 to complete the collection.
But it's like I got 1 and 2 for a pretty good price. I got the that little special edition Marvel. I think it was a record store day thing that they did with Marvel. They did like a little custom Marvel album cover, and it's got Stay Gold and the Stay Gold remix, and the Kill Your Masters and the Kill Your Masters remix, as well as the instrumentals on there. Like I copped that for like $20.
They got Me Out the Jewels on vinyl.
They do, but I didn't really like that album. You know what I mean? Like don't get me wrong, it's the same album.
Yeah, it's RTJ2 with a bunch of cat noises.
That album, man, I can't listen to the album. That shit is annoying. It's loud.
I think it's funny as fuck.
I'm not listening to that album. I can't listen to it. But it is a vinyl. But yeah, I can't. This just speaks volumes about RTJ3, man. I can't find RTJ3 vinyl for less than $100. A brand new. I'm sure I could probably find a used one somewhere.
That's what I'm saying, though. You could throw you could get blindfolded. Throw all 4 RTJ albums on a dartboard. Whichever one you hit, you can't say it's not the best one.
Mm-mm. And honestly, I didn't count rap music as an RTJ album too, because that's what set the whole thing off.
It's all produced by LP.
I know he had one verse for sure.
Did he?
But I want he had at least 2 on there. But he did produce that entire album.
Yeah.
And to me, that's Killer Mike's best work. Solo in my opinion.
I love rap music.
I love rap music, and I love Monster, which I actually just got on vinyl. I got that shit for a steal on vinyl.
Monster, man, Monster is so cold. All day I dream about.
He did. Killer Mike, he's got albums. But I think rap music is by far his best and most complete project.
So speaking of blasphemous,
it just tells you like
what's up.
Neither LP or Killer Mike have released solo projects since they got together, man. That's crazy to think about. Like LP even touches on it. He says he has a line something about I finally got my money right, and my career finally took off, and the world goes to shit. So like that tells you right there, like RTJ is finally at this point to where like motherfuckers know like these dudes are serious. Like they produce some good ass music. They the material is quality. And then the world kind of goes to shit in 2020. Like LP even touches on that one song.
Ain't that some shit though? Like ever glitter, glisten, flaws, gloss. I catch a beat running like Randy Moss. Like that's how long we been fucking with Killer Mike. It took 3 RTJ albums for the world to take notice, and LP been underground forever.
I was talking to my girlfriend about this too, man. Like when the protests and everything like first started going on, and Killer Mike gave that speech down in Atlanta, where it was like 8-9 minute long speech, and he started like tearing up and shit, and I just like woke up like the random ass people were like tagging me, like sending me this Killer Mike thing because they know that I fuck with Killer Mike like that, and even that thing he did for Bernie Sanders, I want to say it was last year, when Bernie Sanders was on the campaign trail. Powerful speech, man. Killer Mike has been an activist since he was like a junior in high school, man, and that shit's dope to me.
Yeah.
I've been messing with Killer Mike since he dropped that Randy Moss line. That was like my first introduction to like Killer Mike.
Yeah, it was the Scooby-Doo soundtrack with Outkast.
Yeah, his album Monster came out when we were in high school. I don't know if I was a sophomore or junior. I can't remember. I have to look it up.
03. I think you had to be a sophomore because it come out. I think it come out in 03.
I remember I used to bootleg CDs back then, like that too. And I used to sell hella bootleg CDs, but I remember that Killer Mike came out, like I maybe sold like 5 or 6 copies of that bootleg album. And everybody who bought that album, like we had like this connection, you know what I mean? Like this Killer Mike dude is like, I can't believe like nobody's really talking about him like that. So I try to tell people like I've been messing with Killer Mike for a long time.
Okay.
And people are surprised, like when they find out, like how deep, like intellectually he is, like like he was educated as fuck. You know
that's why, that's why I told y'all in the group chat a couple weeks ago too. Like Killer Mike is one of the smartest, most educated dudes out there, and because he got Killer in his name, or just because he's a rapper overall, people try to discredit his knowledge, and like man, it's not even like that.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to go down that path too, man, you see people like posting his shit, retweeting, whatever on IG, like reposting on IG. You always have that one person who'll jump in the comments like, "Oh, I'm supposed to take somebody whose name is Killer.
Yeah.
I'm supposed to take this guy serious."
Yeah.
I don't want to go down this path. But
you clearly didn't listen to what he said.
That's just. I don't want to go down that path, but that's where we are in this world where stupid ass people are making themselves obvious to the rest of us.
Yeah, like, bro, you're exposing your ignorance, man. Listen to what he said and then come up with snarky ass comment.
No, I'm gonna listen to a guy who called himself killer. Okay,
I want to say somebody tried to pull that shit on him on like the Bill Maher show or something. I don't remember it. I don't remember the exact interview.
It was definitely like a late night show. It was a late night. So I know what you're talking about. I mean, he's been dealing with that shit, for the past 5 or 6 years, ever since RTJ took off, because he's been putting himself out there more in a political sense. So he's been dealing with that for a few years now, and every time somebody calls him out on that shit, like, he destroys them, he eats them up. That just, speaks on the ignorance of people, man. It's crazy.
Yeah, man. This might be blasphemous, but I'm gonna throw this like a 4.5999999 out of 5. Because like I said, like the other 3 are 5s, and I don't have RTJ 4 as high yet, but it'll get there eventually.
Yeah, I don't know if I can call it a 5 either, but it's probably my album of the year so far, man. Probably. That shit too.
Like I was telling you and Merritt, like I don't have a definitive like favorite album overall. Like for bars, like I think that John Connor is the best. For vibe, I think that Coda is the best. For production and anticipation and all that shit, I think RTJ is the best.
Yeah, man, if you ask me what my top 5 albums are right now, it'd probably go something like, I probably put RTJ at 1, I probably put Coda at 2. Damn, I've been talking hella shit this entire year, and I'm having like a brain fart right now. I know Styles P is in my top 5. Royce would probably be just outside my top 5.
Joyner.
Man, yeah, I've been meaning to talk about this too. I don't really bump that Joyner no more at all, man. Actually, if I go back and listen to it now, like I borderline call it whack compared to what's come out.
Since more stuff has come out, I haven't bumped it as much, but I'm gonna revisit it.
I bumped the hell out of that Joyner when it first came out, but it's mostly because it got me hyped when I was like working out and shit. Yeah. But like as an album, as far as lyrics and all this shit, like it's really not that good. Like if we're being honest, like I think he just got to the point where like he needed to put something out, so he did. But that Joyner Lucas isn't in my top 5. Griselda, shout out Griselda, man. They've been killing shit lately. That Lulu album from Conway the Machine is probably in my top 5, even though it's only 7 tracks. They on that Kanye West shit.
Yeah, that's not an album.
West Side Gun has dropped like 2 projects, I want to say, like this year. They're both crazy.
That Joel and Crook.
This is a sneaky ass year for hip hop, man. I'm telling you.
And the year's only halfway over.
This has been a dope, considering everything. Like, this has been a dope ass year for hip hop, in my opinion.
Music is the only thing that didn't get shut down.
Yeah, we're only about halfway through, man. And I hope that they keep feeding us because, man, we need it, man. The people need something to look forward to.
Merritt Spider Sense is tingling. Cole and Kendrick got to give us something.
I think they will too, because
I do
J.
too.
Cole have been in the news lately with that whole No Name shit, the back and forth with No Name. We could do a whole podcast on that. So I don't really want to dwell too much into that.
Yeah, for sure.
But that was in my opinion, that was a dope ass song.
Yeah,
it was real dope, and even her response, like that shit was dope to me. Like I don't have a problem with a back and forth like that. 2 people that are on the same team, like clearly they're on the same team. We're all on the same side of the fence here. And they just kind of had a little, I don't want to call it a dispute. I think J. Cole said his piece.
Yep.
I think he responded. She said her piece. I don't think either one of them took it too far. I don't even really think either one of them said anything that was just like, too disrespectful.
Yeah. Like there hasn't been, in the last week and a half or so, there hasn't been anything over social media. They probably linked up in person and just chopped it up, hashed it out.
And honestly, I think that best case scenario coming out of it. I think they should. I really think they should. I think they should sit down in the room. And honestly, I don't like this to be considered like like selling out, like they're there's this clout chasing or whatever. But I feel like those 2 can honestly sit down together, just them 2, and like maybe 1 or 2 other people, like a camera guy and like a sound guy, and just like do like a 45-minute like podcast, whatever you want to say, like a video log, whatever.
You trying to
do back and forth, and then putting that out there, man. Because I feel like both of them have a platform, and both of them have a big enough following to where like they could really do some good. So yeah, I'm like I said, we could do a whole podcast or a whole episode talking about that shit or whatever. But
Yeah, for sure.
No, I didn't really see nothing wrong with it. I thought it was a dope song by J. Cole, and I thought that her little response that she had it was Alchemist, right? Alchemist did the beat.
Sure, I don't think I heard her shit.
It was either Alchemist or Madlib. I want to say it was Alchemist. Damn, I don't know why I'm having a brain fart right now, but it was a cool little beat. And let's be real, for somebody who that's not her like main thing, she had a response pretty fast, like 3 days. I want to say maybe 2 days.
I want to say that you had the production confused with I want to say you had the producer confused with Freddie Gibbs, but Freddie Gibbs worked heavy with both of them dudes.
I'm pretty sure. I want to say it's Alchemist. I'm 99% sure it's Alchemist.
Yeah. Yeah, man.
Crazy. Went out, man. Crazy music.
Drop a comment. Let us know what y'all thought about that RTJ. How do y'all rank all four RTJ albums? Come back in a couple weeks and probably talk about that Sky Zoo that just dropped, man. So y'all just sit back and chill until the next episode.